So, the other day, someone asked me if I was religious. I simply said yes and thought nothing of it. Until he replied, "Bummer." That took me by surprise. Why is that a bummer? He had no answer and we simply dropped it. But here I am telling you. It seems that many people see the idea of being a Christian as a burden. You have to pray, you have to believe. You have to, according to them. But for me, religion is more of a want to. It was never forced upon me, and so I'll never force it upon anyone else. As a United Methodist, I've always held the motto, open hearts, open minds, open doors. And it has helped shape who I am today. If you look at my group of friends, you will see a huge melting pot. Cheerleaders, geeks, gamers, dancers, artists, some all of the above. All different races and different religions, and I wouldn't have it any other way. We can talk about anything without being offended, and we don't push our beliefs on each other. We all have open hearts and open minds. This motto, though generally unspoken, is not just one of religious significance. It is displayed in my everyday life and in my friends, even those of which are not United Methodists. In John chapter 10, verse 9, Jesus says, "I am the gate. Anyone who goes through me will be cared for, will freely go in and out and find pasture." To go through him. What does that mean to go through Jesus? Well, our motto talks about opening doors. Living your life through Jesus by allowing others in. A radical idea of making church a verb rather than a noun. Have you churched lately? When you think about it, a gate is really just a door to a pasture. Take a moment to reflect on what you did this week, where you went through Jesus. Stan is always asking what the purpose of life is. Relationship. But our relationship with God cannot be a once-a-week thing. That's not the real relationship we're asked for. That's going over or around the gate to seemingly get to the same place. Though, I will admit, there are those times we get to the gate and it's locked. What happens then? It's easier to go over or around it, but the easy way isn't always the right way. I mean, you don't want to stand there and take the time to find the key. Then there's those times where we fail to even recognize there's a gate to go through. When I was just 6 months old, I was baptized at Reseda United Methodist Church. My parents promised to raise me so that I would come to know God. As a little girl, I was very involved in church. Sunday school, choir. For me, church was fun. I got to come and sing and eat donuts and draw. But as a little kid, that's all church was for me. I prayed and I knew there was a God. He was my father, Jesus was his son, and Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible tells me so. And I loved and thanked God, but I wasn't in a relationship with him. I remember throughout middle school, youth was during the church service, except on communion. Then I had to sit in church like an adult. And then church was boring. I didn't have a relationship with God. In fact, it wasn't until confirmation that I really came to find that relationship with God. In fact, it took me that long to realize there was even a gate to unlock. At that moment, I decided I was making the right choice by confirming. I was taking my baptism one step farther. I promised to personally lead my life as a Christian. That was the key. My choice. Because no one can force you through the gate. Later in John 10, Jesus also says he is the shepherd. I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd puts the sheep before himself, sacrifices himself if necessary. This, of course, leads to the question, how can he be both the gate and the shepherd? Well, we know Jesus is the gate because we go through him to reach the pasture where he's waiting to lead us. We know his voice and will follow him because we're in relationship with him. We are his sheep, but we're not his only pen. Jesus has pens everywhere, and they are his sheep just like we're his sheep. So together, we're one flock, one family under God, because God is everywhere. God is everywhere? I mean, how can that be? I used to think of him like a giant blanket or a specific element on the periodic table, but none of my theories quite fit. Then, a few years ago, the youth group had an activity where we meditated as we took pictures of God around campus. Some of us just took pictures of the crosses, but I experimented and took pictures of the sun, the plants, and the congregation. As I viewed one of my favorite old guys laughing through the lens, it hit me. God is everywhere. He's in the little things, like a laugh, a surprise, a single snowflake. And the greater things, a mountain, a silly elephant at the zoo, the largest blue whale. God is everywhere and in everyone. And if we can realize this, then we can be in true relationship with one another and the whole world. We can church by going through the gate, having open hearts, open minds, and open doors. Then Sunday will truly be a day of rest, where we can reflect upon all we have done through Jesus, Monday through Saturday. Thank you.